Hello everyone, my name is Reno and welcome to the Olfactory Library where I share with everyone here on YouTube my love for fragrances. Now if you're new here, thank you so much for spending time with me today, but if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning back in. I know it's still May, but summer is just around the corner. So in today's video, I am going to give you my top 10 summer perfumes for life. These are perfumes that I enjoy a lot, especially during summers, especially during hotter weathers. And I guess it's safe to say that these are perfumes that I'm going to keep on buying once I run out of them. For this list, I have tried so hard to keep it down to just 10 perfumes. So I do have 2 honorable mentions. But also in this list, I have a combination of both niche and designers. And in my opinion, a lot of them are very unisex. Now again, I have 10 perfumes in this list and 2 honorable mentions. And I'm going to try to breeze through each one of them because I don't want this to be another long video. So to start with this video, we are going to go to the house of Byredo, and this is Gypsy Water. Now, this perfume is sentimental to me because this is my very first Byredo perfume and also my very first niche perfume. Now, the only reason why this is an honorable mention and not properly on the list is that I don't really see this as, the tropical holiday kind of perfume, but this I think is a really good signature perfume, a really good everyday perfume, especially if you're like me who live in a tropical country, because this perfume really just performs so well during hotter weathers. Although this perfume wasn't necessarily a love at first sniff because my nose couldn't understand what was going on. There's a lot of things going on in this perfume. It's citrusy, it's green, it's fresh, but at the same time has a cozy sandalwood and musk in the background. To me, this being the first niche perfume that I have ever put my nose on, definitely this smelled very niche and very, not typical of what I usually smell. But I have grown to love this perfume so much, and I do agree with the hype surrounding this perfume, and I do reach for this perfume a lot, especially as an everyday perfume. And the next honorable mention is from the house of Kilian, and this is Roses on Ice. I do love this perfume. This perfume straight up smells like gin and tonic. This will remind you of sitting on a bar by the beach, sipping gin and tonic with lots of cucumber. The rose is very much hidden in the background. It's more of the juniper berries and the cucumber. This smells very refreshing, but in my opinion, this slightly leans a little bit more masculine. I love this perfume for its uniqueness. One of the true gin and tonic perfumes that I have ever put my nose on, but I just don't reach for this perfume in comparison to the other perfumes in this list, and that is why this is just an honorable mention, but I do really love this perfume a lot. And now finally we are on the official list. At number 10, we are going to the house of Acqua de Parma, and this is Mandorlo de Sicilia. This perfume has prominent notes of almond, star anise, vanilla, citruses, and peach. Now this perfume straight up smells like root beer, but a lot more fresher, spicier, and obviously a lot more wearable than just, plain root beer. Now I don't know what happened to this perfume because this is an old bottle, and back in the day, this perfume was such a standout in the Blue Mediteranee line because apart from this was the more longer lasting perfume in that line, this one also has the only one that has a darker juice. Nowadays, when I go to the Acqua de Parma's website or in any other retailers, the juice somehow is now clear. So I don't know if it's, I guess that's really reformulations. I can't, however, vouch for the comparison and how this one differs from the lighter juice, but that's just how I've seen it these days. It smells like root beer, so it does have a little bit of sweetness, but it doesn't smell juvenile. But definitely a really unique summer perfume, because who doesn't like a cold root beer during summer afternoons, right? And this one will really remind you of that. It's very refreshing. It's a little bit complex with all the spices in here, especially the star anise. But definitely, I really love this one. The perfumes in this list can easily be interchanged as far as the rankings are concerned, but I guess my top 3, I think they're pretty solid. So yeah, this perfume could easily be my number 4 or 5, but for now this sits at the top 10. Next up, we're going to the house of Memo Paris, and this is Tamarindo. Now this perfume has prominent notes of pineapple, vanilla, patchouli, cardamom, and coconut. This perfume straight up reminds me of pina colada with a very creamy base coming from the tuberose and the vanilla. This perfume is very transportive and is very sentimental to me. Pina coladas remind me of that birthday that I had spent in Siargao Island last year. The pineapple in here isn't the same as what you would find in Creed Saventus. It's a pineapple perfume of its own league, and with the combination of the other notes in here, this definitely screams tropical, and the fact that this smells like pina colada, what more can you ask for a summer perfume? Next up, we're going to the house of Hermes, and this is Jardin and Mediteranee. This perfume has prominent notes of lemon, bergamot, fig, cypress, and musk. Now, I had such a hard time picking what perfume to put into this list because I do have two other perfumes that I love. I love Jardin Soleil because of the beautiful green mango note in there, but also the Mandorlo because that perfume is the perfume that I brought with me when I first went to Boracay Island for the first time, and I do love the smell of kumquat that is used in that perfume. But after smelling them side by side, this one just takes a cake. I love its complexity hidden in that simplistic kind of storytelling, but at the same time it's got depth and it takes you on a journey when you wear this and as it dries down on your skin. Right off the bat, this perfume smells very aquatic, but it's not in the typical aquatic way. It doesn't have a cologne note or that, sea breezy kind of smell, but it does give you that aquatic feel. And definitely this is going to transport you to that garden that is overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. It will give you that feeling of smelling the sea breeze, but at the same time you are surrounded by these beautiful greeneries and foliage. And as this perfume dries down, the musk is slowly revealed, and what you're left with is this very soft, fluffy, aquatic kind of green perfume. And among the other perfumes in the garden collection of Hermes, this one also is the one that has the best performance. I had about 7 to 8 hours of wearing on this one, especially if you are going to spray this on your clothes. Next up, we're going to the house of Dyptique, and this is Ilio. This perfume has prominent notes of iris, prickly pear, bergamot, and jasmine. This perfume slightly reminds me of Mojave Ghost by Byredo, but done in a slightly fruitier and floral way, with the addition of the prickly pear giving the fruity nuances, and the iris. It's not the lipsticky or buttery kind of iris, it's the one that's the fresher kind. So if you are an iris lover like me, you will definitely love this perfume. This is a very fresh, refreshing iris perfume. The prickly pear in here just offers a different kind of refreshing, very invigorating aspect to this perfume that you would only typically get from citrus perfumes for summer. So again, if you love iris perfumes and if you're looking for a unique summer perfume to add into your collection, try Ilio by Dyptique. I think you will love this one just as much as I do. Next up, we're going to the house of Dolce & Gabanna, and this is Light Blue Forever. This perfume has keynotes of grapefruit, bergamot, violet leaf, and vetiver. Now, to an untrained nose, this perfume may smell like straight up in-your-face grapefruit, and I wouldn't disagree with that sentiment because when you wear this perfume, you will be greeted by this blast of grapefruit that's also very zesty, so you're not only getting the smell of the juice, but at the same time the rind and the zest of the grapefruit as well. And that refreshing grapefruit is supported by this beautiful, spicy, slightly woody vetiver in the background. And I also think that this perfume is a unique one because when you think of summer perfumes, easily in perfumes, you would think lemon, bergamot, and obviously mandarin oranges, and less about the grapefruit. So I think this one as a citrusy perfume is still a unique one. Well, probably a little less unique at this point because I know a lot of people love this perfume, but I think this perfume just really deserves the hype. Next one is a classic. We're going to the house of Santa Maria Novella, and this is Acqua di Santa Maria Novella. Now, this perfume has keynotes of citruses, mainly bergamot and lemon, neroli, petitgrain, lavender, and rosemary. Now, if I could describe this perfume using just one word, this would be easy. This is just such an easy perfume to wear. In my opinion, I know a lot of other perfumes out there claim that their perfume is skin but better. To me, this is the one that smells like skin but better. To me, this perfume smells very nostalgic, even though this one is pretty new to my collection, because this perfume reminds me of those hot summer afternoons where I used to have a lot of fun with my friends back in school or my neighbors. There's just something about it that smells very cozy and homey. I guess it's the addition of the rosemary and lavender that makes this really herbal, very aromatic. That to me just makes this perfume smell very homey, very comforting, apart from the fact that this perfume just smells very refreshing with all the citruses at the top. This is definitely definitely a perfume that I will forever have in my collection, and I think one that everybody should have in their summer perfume rotation. Next up, we're going to the house of Jo Malone, and this is Oud and Bergamot Cologne Intense. This perfume has key notes of oud, bergamot, orange, and lemon. Now, just to put this out of the way, this perfume smells like, in my opinion, the opening of Byredo's Pulp or Space Rage. It has very bright bergamot at the top, supported by this woody oud and sweet oranges. And if you're someone who doesn't like oud, don't be afraid with the oud in this perfume. This is Jo Malone after all. To my nose, the oud in here reminds me of the oud that is used in Oud Wood by Tom Ford, and that oud in there to me smells like a refreshing sparkly oud, and that's exactly what you are going to get in here. But just the combination of that very refreshing oud and that beautiful bergamot at the top just smells very, very amazing. And out of all the Jo Malone perfumes, this is one of those perfumes that don't get talked about a lot. And as for a summer perfume, this would also be a very unique perfume, because honestly, who wears oud during summer? But Jo Malone with this perfume gives you a very unique take on that, and it's done in a very refreshing and unique way. A combination of oud and bergamot that's very, you know, when you think of it, you might think that those two notes wouldn't work, but they just work very perfectly in this bottle. And finally, we are on my top 3. For the number 3, we are going to the house of Byredo, and this is Sundazed. This perfume is key notes of mandarin, neroli, cotton candy, and musk. Now, this perfume smells like cotton candy, but at the same time, this perfume also reminds me of those tiny orange candies that I used to have when I was younger. And although this smells like cotton candy, this doesn't smell juvenile at all. It's not sickly sweet. It's not the burnt sugar kind of sweetness that you would get with Baccarat Rouge, because with that Byredo DNA, the cotton candy in here is done in a very refreshing, transparent, luminous kind of way. This perfume will slightly remind you of Oriana by Parfums de Marly, but to me, this is a more unisex version of that perfume. I just really, really love this perfume so much. It just reminds me of those summer days where there's carnivals in my town, and we used to get this pink cotton candies. This perfume is just very, very nostalgic. Perhaps this perfume is the most unique perfume that I have on this list, and if you haven't tried this perfume yet, go do yourself a favor, go sniff this one, try this one out, buy a decant. I think you will love this perfume as well. Second to the last one on this list, we have Eau de Soleil Blanc by Tom Ford. This perfume has prominent notes of coconut, vanilla, tuberose, neroli, and spices. Now, right off the bat, this perfume is very, very beachy. It has that sunscreen kind of vibe in here. And what I love the most about this perfume is that this is just very transportive. My friends know that if we're ever going on a beach trip, the one thing that I will never have without in my bag is a sunscreen. Every time I go out to the beach, out of the hotel room, I always have layers and layers of sunscreen on my skin, and this perfume just really transports me to that kind of vibe, being on the beach, smelling the sea breeze, being surrounded and having fun with people that matter the most. This is the Eau de Toilette version. It has the Eau de Parfum version, which is called, plainly Soleil Blanc. The Eau de Parfum version is a slightly richer, milkier kind of version than this one. What I love about this one over that one is that this has luminosity, this vibrance and solarity to it. But as for the summer, as for, a tropical holiday, I probably would bring this one rather than the Eau de Parfum version. Last on the list, we are going to the house of Juliette Has a Gun, and this is Vanilla Vibes. Now, this perfume has key notes of vanilla, salt, tonka bean, and sandalwood. Now, as far as presentation is concerned, I just really love this particular bottle from Juliette Has a Gun because it has this ombre color that runs from blue to orangey kind of brown, like the transition from the sand to the sea. And this perfume, I think, just really will remind you of that. This perfume is loaded with coconut, but it's very different from Eau de Soleil Blanc because the coconut in here, it's not done in a sunscreen kind of direction. To me, this smells just like the coconut water than the coconut milk, and that just really complements very well with the salt notes in here, with the tonka bean and sandalwood that slightly offers a bit of sweetness in the background. This perfume just really will remind you of, the drying seawater on your skin while you're lying on the sand under the shade of the coconut trees. I just really, really love this perfume so much. This is definitely summer in a bottle. More like summer vacation in a bottle. This is a well-loved perfume in the community, and I can see why that is. I use this perfume sparingly, even though I love this so much, because I don't know, I just hate the thought of running out of this perfume. So as you can see, there's not much of a dent in this bottle, but I just really love this perfume so much, and I do stand by the ranking of this perfume in this list. This is definitely my most favorite summer perfume for life. And that is it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. If you want to see more contents like this in the future, do consider subscribing to this channel. But don't stop there. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified if I do upload more contents in the future. But more importantly, leave a like on this video. It will definitely help me with YouTube's algorithm. And before you go, tell me your scent of the day. I want to know, and what summer perfumes that you are excited to wear for the summer days. Maybe I will discover some new ones that I haven't tried from your favorites. But as always, wherever you are, stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!